Hey gang, Spada coming at you, and today we are taking a look at Ice Pick with Chain Claw. Now, Ice Pick is, as you can see, a Decepticon, and this is Ice Pick from the Power Core Combiners series. The figure itself is actually pretty good, and as you can see, it is modeled in primarily white with this dark blue. Posability of this figure is actually not too bad. He's got a good posability here in the legs. Big problem is these skirts you need to get out of the way in order to really pose him, but they do move, which is good. He's got a lot of posability in the arms, thanks to the nature of his transformation and just his robot mode in general. The only real downside to the mode is it's very, very plain and kind of boring. The robot face is not interesting at all. It just looks kind of like something that's been smushed together. And the coloring is not very good at all. The other real big problem is you've got this basic coloring, and then you've got the Power Core Combiner pegs just sitting here. You really can't do anything with them. I just keep them pointed down. The only real drawback of this robot mode is he is slightly top-heavy because of all the stuff up here, but as long as you get the legs situated correctly, it really isn't a problem. I do like the hands. They are very nicely posable, and they do kind of look like rakes. Now, Chain Claw is a nice little mini-con, and so far one of my favorite mini-cons of the group. He's got very, very limited posability, and his face is very bland, but I really like the juxtaposition of the clear blue and the silver. His transformation is ridiculously simple. Just put his legs together like that, fold his legs up, and there's a notch cut in the back of his legs for where to go over the mini-con port, like that. And then what I like to do is just get it so that his claws clip onto those little pegs in the back. And that's it. He just forms a little cannon, or a little missile cannon, which, as you can see, has some severe, or has some pretty bad mispaint apps there. Transformation for Ice Pick is really simple. I mean really simple. First thing you're going to do is just take his shoulders, rotate them forward, and then fold them over his face to form the back of the vehicle mode. Take the arms and just point them straight back, like that. Then we're going to take the legs of the robot mode, fold his feet up, do a 180 rotation on the lower part of the legs, disconnect the hip from the middle of the figure, and then rotate it on the around back and plug those into the bottom of the arms, fold the little rake hands down, and then fold out the snowplow, and take your mini-con here, Chain Claw, and just plug him in on top. And this has to be the simplest Power Core Combiner transformation I've seen yet. It's not bad, I just really don't like the colors. I like the white, but I would prefer a different color. There's a lot of detail in here, especially on these treads. There is a significant amount of detail here, and this is a very detailed vehicle mode. But it's boring. I mean, the coloring is just not fun whatsoever. So, let's go ahead and take a look at him in his Power Core Combiner mode. Getting Ice Pick into his Power Core Combiner mode is very, very easy. Flip up the feet, fold out the arms, pull up those tabs, and then split the legs like a good old G1 combiner. And then don't forget to pull out the Power Core pegs as well. Yep, just like a G1 combiner. And it's really kind of sad because it's really kind of pathetic. Now, what you're supposed to do is collapse the arms into the chest, but it just looks so stupid. Oh yeah, and don't forget to flip out the head there. And I, more often than not, I end up popping the ball joints and everything, but I'll get to that in a minute. And you see it just looks pretty crappy. And And here we have Ice Pick in combined mode. I'm sorry, this is just boring. There's nothing interesting here. There is not a darn thing interesting about this figure. This is the most boring figure in the Power Core Combiners line. I'm not knocking the transformation or the vehicle mode or the robot mode. They're fine if a little dull. But this is the official way to transform him. There was no effort. I mean, he's just, look at his arms. His robot arms. He's just hugging himself. It would be so much better if you had him actually, like, standing here like an abominable snowman or something with giant tank treads or something like that. That looks infinitely cooler. Or better yet, well, you have to contend with the arms popping off, but you know what? You could have done this. They could have done this. This is infinitely more interesting. There. Yeah, you've got this big gaping hole here, but that's more interesting because that tells you, hey, these arms can come over and grab you at any time. Now, something that I didn't show in the robot mode that I'm going to show here is this guy has some severe loose problems. First off, you go to move the arm and you move the entire shoulder. So you have to grab it and then move it. And then there's the legs that are just, I mean, by its own weight, it'll fall over and do the limbo, which is actually pretty cool. Limbo, limbo, limbo. But, you know what? I'm going to have to tell you to pass on Ice Pick. He's boring in robot mode, he's boring in vehicle mode, and he's boring in combined mode. It's not that he's bad looking, he's just gosh darn boring. And the face, I think this was a Power Ranger villain at one point. So, you know what? Pass on Ice Pick. He's just boring.